Okay, we are live as live can get, coast to coast, border to border. It is a Sunday, which means, of course, it is fucking around with porn stars. And we have got a great one with us today. The fantastic Goddess Lilith joins us back on our program.
Hello everyone.
How are you?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Better now since you've got that outfit on. Holy
I love it. Yes, there it is.
I figured I'd go all out for you, Jiggy, because sometimes when I do my interviews, I'm in casual mode. I'm like, whatever, but I'm like, no, today I am going to go all out for Mr. Jaguar.
That's awesome.
There it is.
So Goddess Lilith, I bumped into you at the Pawn convention in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us what your results and everything from ABN was like with all the various activities I'm sure you were involved in.
Oh yeah, it was a great time. As always, it's always really hectic. But I got in some great experiences with Fetish Only and Mint Stars, and I was also signing at the AVN booth itself, which is always like the biggest honor for me because I'm like, okay, I made it. I'm here. It was just I got to see so many friends, got to meet lots of fans, and not just fans of my fetish work, but fans of my sort of upcoming educational stuff, which I have been doing on YouTube for some time now. So
Okay.
actually really heartwarming and even more special to have women coming up to me saying, I love your YouTube channel. Your videos helped me so much. And, even got tipped by one of them, which was really sweet. So that means a lot to me that my, the stuff that I put out as far as my sort of like, hey, here's how to do this thing and how to do that thing and what to avoid on this platform is actually helping other creators. So that was a nice unexpected thing that happened this year at AVN for me.
That's awesome. That's
That
awesome.
is good.
We have got Goddess Lilith with us today. Giovanni, I know you have some questions. Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, I did. I actually was. First off, Goddess Lilith, thank you for being on the show today. I am
Thank you.
was it Giovanni Valentino? I am but the Chewbacca to Jiggy's Han Solo. So that's the best way I like to. At least I can do more than roar. But that being said, I noticed that you do sing in a metal band, Sorrowseed. Is that correct?
I do. Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that, like how that kind of all interweaves together.
Sure. Let me grab. I have one of my albums right here. So I can give
Ladies and gentlemen, she's pulling a Patrick Palmer on us, getting something from off screen.
This is our most recent full-length album. This one is Nemesis Engine. This is my band, guys. Sorrowseed. Go check it out. We are currently working on our 4th studio album, which is called Hydra. We just released a new single off of that album just a few months ago. So it is live on Spotify and every other streaming platform that streams music. So go and check it out. Come follow us. Follow our progress. Working on an album is such a huge undertaking, and we always want to make sure we're putting out the best product possible. So it's a little slow going, but we're really glad to be back in the studio. And for those who are not familiar with us already, we do incorporate elements of kink and femdom specifically into our lyrics and sometimes into our stage show as well. I did a full tour a few years back with the St. Andrew's Cross. We strapped it to the van and we drove all over the north region of the country with it. And you'd be surprised, we had our own sexy little subby girl that would jump up on stage and I would do various things to her on the cross. But lots of times we had people in the audience that were just super willing to jump up and be part of the show.
Oh, nice.
Some of them had never been, whipped or experienced anything like that before. So we had quite a few audience participants in some of the shows. And some of they're like lifelong fans now. So it was a lot of fun, and it's something that we want to do more of. And so we'll see what happens with the shows in 2026 and what that brings. But yeah, so I have been doing this band for they first approached me back in 2009, and totally different lineup. And since then, I've sort of, you know, it's been a little bit of we've had some lineup changes because some of the folks in the early
That happens.
iterations
Yeah.
and we're sort of more hobbyists. And I'm the kind of person that I'm like, go big or go home. If we're going to do this, I want to tour. I want to like go around the country. I want to go around the world doing this. And that life is not for everybody, you know?
Yeah.
So now I'm pretty much, I'm the one spearheading the project. And right now it's just a two-piece. It's just myself and my guitar player who's named Caden. And we've known each other a really long time. Our bands met because Sorrowseed was touring a few years back. We went through New York. His band was opening for us, Solemn Vision. And then we liked them so much, we were like, hey, let's take you guys on tour with us. So then we did a tour with those guys, and some of their members actually ended up filling in live for us. And
wow.
It was really awesome. So yeah, thank you so much for asking about that. And yeah, we're really excited to bring some new music. Be on the lookout for announcements. We're probably going to put out a Kickstarter to help finish off the album.
Oh, very nice. Okay.
You know, like I'm all about the crowdfunding stuff, and I don't think people realize just how expensive it is to book.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
a lot of people very ignorant on it.
Yep. Yeah, just putting out that single alone costs like, you know, over $800. So we've got 4 more songs we want to bring. So if anybody wants to be a part of the crowdfunding and helping out with us releasing our 4th studio album, that would be amazing. So
where would they go to find the Kickstarter? How would they find that? I mean, I know we're diverging off porn, but I'm really interested in this. Where does one go, Miss Lilith, if they want to find this? Where do they go?
So the best place to go is sorrowseed.com. That's sort of like the funnel to all of our everything, our social media, our Spotify, YouTube, all that good stuff. So when we put that out, it's going to be all over our socials. So I'm probably going to do that within the next month. So definitely go to sorrowseed.com, bookmark it now, follow the socials, and be on the lookout for those announcements, because we're really excited to bring these new songs, and we want to get this done this year. And we're even releasing a special cover that we've already done a music video for. I don't want to spoil the surprise there, but I think a lot of
Did you get Jiggy in the music video? Because that would have been, I would have
definitely liked it. Yeah. But you've got to wear like your Santa Claus onesie though.
Oh yeah, I was about to say, you've got to wear the Santa suit, the literal suit of Santa.
Oh, is it? Yeah, it's a suit, right? It's not like it looks like a onesie.
It does look like a onesie from behind. Yeah, like if you're watching him walk away, it looks like a onesie. Yeah.
I love all your sheets. That's how I spotted you actually at the show.
That is awesome.
I gotta ask a question to you guys. I know I'm going to the music, but you said you had like a young subby type girl that would jump on. Is she kind of like a fan roadie type who follows you, or was this just happen to be a one-off, or do you find that happens show after show with the ladies, or I'm curious about this.
Yeah, I kind of pick up subs along the way. You know, this was a girl that had been actually serving as my slave for some time, and
oh, that's sweet.
Really sweet, really cute. Had a little bit of an exhibitionist streak, so I was like, "All right, you're coming on tour with us, babe."
I love it. Love it.
Awesome.
Thank you for the side detour way and going.
Yes, thank you for asking. I always appreciate a good shout out for my band, because I realize like not everyone knows that I'm a singer. Like, even though I've been doing this for over 10 years, sometimes just last week, a new fan came in and I was like, oh, hey, I like your Slipknot shirt. And we started talking about metal. I was like, did you know that I'm a singer in a metal band? And they were like, no. I was like, okay, I'm obviously not cross promoting this enough. So I actually have a pinned tweet on my Twitter right now that's like, hey, I'm in this project. Go check it out. So it's on my Twitter feed right now.
Oh my God, well, that's fantastic. That's awesome. That's awesome. And quick question. I know I'm going to pull one more thread here as my light is trying to go in and out again. CJ, I told you, it's acting. Feels like I'm in a car. It's like I'm in an actual like.
It's just the vortex.
It is the vortex. Yes. Yeah. So you mentioned earlier. You said something about you kind of. It felt to me like to going into the singing thing that somebody had asked you, hey, come do this. Did they know you? Because I mean, I sound like shit when I sing, though I love to sing. My wife would tell you that absolutely horrid. But how did they know? Like, how did they know? Hey, you're a singer. Come on up. Let's do this. Like, how did that metamorphosize?
Well, I've been a singer. I decided I wanted to front my own band when I was like 15 years old. I had just
That's awesome.
discovered the band Nirvana, and I don't know, I was really inspired by their front person. And I was just like, I picked up a guitar, I taught myself guitar, and I started a garage band. And, it was mostly Nirvana covers and a few other things. We had a couple of originals, and like, our biggest, like, the height of our little career was that we played the local VFW. And like,
Nice.
yeah, so that was like, that was my first garage band. And after that, this was kind of not too long after MySpace days. So
Oh Lord.
I had built up a MySpace profile, yeah, with some of my music that I had been working on, just sort of rough recordings. And somebody had found me, kind of, they had already known of me, they'd been following me since then, and then they found me on Facebook later, and they were like, "Hey, this I'm helping this band like find a singer, and I think that you'd be amazing for this part." They're looking for a female singer. They wanted someone that could do what's called like the clean singing
Right,
and
right, right.
the harsh parts. And I was like, okay, let's do it. And at the time, clean singing was sort of new for me. I hadn't really done very much of it. So I had mostly always just been like a growler. And so I was like a little nervous when I auditioned that my singing wasn't going to be good enough. But
Right.
pretty much was like, they were like, okay, your growling is amazing, like you're in, but you definitely have to work on the cleans a little bit. And I was like, yeah, totally. So I went out and I started taking professional operatic lessons. So I got
Holy
operatic
crap.
training for like
Wow.
2 years. Yeah, and let me tell you guys, that type of singing,
Yep.
not only is it extremely difficult, but it's a whole lifestyle change.
Yep.
If you really want to do it right, you have to completely change the way you eat. Because, for example, like dairy, anything with dairy in it, cheese or sauces, anything it sneaks into, it creates more of a, I don't want to get too gross here, but
It's a mucal membrane problem.
yes,
Yes, yeah.
thank you. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Yes.
I'm big on no surprise to Jiggy. My wife and I are subscribed to both the Houston Opera and the Houston Ballet, so quite familiar with it. Yeah.
Amazing. I love it.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Yes, that's exactly it. And also, your voice is your instrument. So your energy has to be up. You have to be getting enough protein. You can't be sluggish on stage, too many carbs or alcohol or anything like that. So that training really kind of gave me like a whole conditioning, a whole body conditioning. And it was really, really tough. And for
Yep.
a while, I had even considered, I was kind of like, maybe I could do this like for real. Maybe I could be a real opera singer and go on stage and stuff. But when I learned all of the way they're judged, the way singers are judged, it's so technical. And the little tiny things that you can hear, the little tiny like colorations in the voice, like it was too much. I was like, I don't think that I could actually be taken seriously while doing this. But what I did do was join a choir. I actually joined a church choir for a while because that's how much I loved singing in this style. And, I was around other people singing and it was really fun. So I did that for a little while too. And all the while I'm like, oh man, I hope they don't realize that I'm just a heathen among them. Imagine if they knew the things that I do when I'm not here.
Indeed, the wolf in sheep's clothing.
Exactly.
Oh my goodness.
So
my goodness.
They were very accepting of me, and I kept a low profile, and so I did that for a little while too. And yeah, that's a little known fact about me. Not a lot of people know that.
Well, that is amazing. I'm happy to hear that, and thank you for giving generously so much of the storyline behind
Thank you.
the music part of you.
I never get to talk about this. Everyone just wants to know what my next strap-on scene is going to be or something. So I appreciate the opportunity to share what some of my other passions too.
Absolutely happy to hear it, Jiggy. I have control of the time on the. I know we went a little off topic here, but I love it. I love it.
Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome.
How do you do the music? How do you go from the music to the
porn?
Adult content.
How much time do you possibly have?
Oh, that's a good question. So the first things I had always like really put serious effort and work into was music, because also like I was very young at the time, so I hadn't even thought, the possibility of modeling hadn't even crossed my mind at that age. And so, I was just doing my thing, doing the band thing. But as you know, being a musician rarely pays the bills, right, on its own. You have to be really lucky in the 0.1% for that, especially in my genre. It's, I did the stats on it not too long ago just to check and see, and it was like less than 1% of metal bands that actually, put in the proper effort that make it to the point where they can sustain themselves with just their music career. It's so rare. So, I had to figure out what I was going to do at some point to start making some money. And I started with the regular kind of retail jobs. I was a barista at Starbucks at one point in time, and just little things like that. I was like, well, this sucks. So I started. I don't even remember. I think I started going on like Craigslist and
oh lordy,
gigs, back in the day. And then I don't know if you guys know of a site called Model Mayhem.
Yes, we do know Model Mayhem. Yep, we know that.
Still exists. It's just not so prolific as it once was. But I started just taking whatever gigs I could get, and started pretty quickly getting into some more weird stuff. Like I noticed that there were shoots that paid way more, way higher. And what were those shoots? They were bondage shoots. And I was like, okay, well, at this point, I hadn't developed like a real fetish identity yet. So I was like, I'm just going to do this. It sounds okay as long as, let me check these people out, make sure they're safe. Maybe I bring my partner, whatever.
Yeah.
So I got tied up a few times for some of my first shoots. And that was when I learned I really, really, really don't want to be in bondage.
Oh, wow. Okay. I thought you were about to say you had some new fetish for it. You kind of struck that you took a left turn on me there, Miss Goddess.
I did not enjoy it at all. I found it, for numerous reasons, I found it very physically uncomfortable. I was just like, how long do I have to stay in this shit? Second, I just found it degrading. I've always had kind of like an alpha personality, and I didn't recognize it yet at that point, but I also felt degraded, even though they were not. The photographers were really cool, and this was luckily photos and not videos, so it didn't follow me around during my career. It was that long ago. So everyone was really cool. I didn't feel unsafe or anything, but I was just, this is like kind of embarrassing, and like I just didn't like the way it made me feel. So I realized pretty early on, like I'm definitely not a bottom. I'm not submissive. So pretty soon those photographers were like, okay, like, let's try you as the Domme then. And that was when I really started having fun and I really flourished. It didn't pay as well as being a bottom for bondage. That's still one of the best paid niches in the fetish genre. So, if you're out there and you're thinking about it, like my advice is definitely try it. Do it. If you can have the stamina to sustain being in bondage, like you're going to make a lot of money. It just wasn't my thing. And from there, I don't know, I just kept up with the Craigslist stuff. And eventually I met some other sort of, baby Doms, aspiring Doms, and we started working together. And things just went from there. I eventually sort of evolved from doing like hotel sessions, like out call stuff, into having my own dungeon eventually, which was amazing.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And that changed the game for me.
That is awesome. Absolutely very amazing. Very amazing.
We have got Goddess Lilith with us today. She joins us live here on Fucking Around with Porn Stars. And we also have Giovanni Valentino as well. And Giovanni, while we have a few moments here, tell us about STD Hero.
Well, I'd be happy to tell you about STD Hero, Jiggy, and all of our audience. For those of you in the adult performer industry world, are you sick of driving around for lots of labs you can't find and to be picked at by some phlebotomist who just graduated from high school who picks you 7 times for 7 vials of blood and it makes you look like a heroin addict? STD Hero is your gold panel pass certified and laboratory CLIA certified at-home in-testing kit from STD Hero. Their package for the adult industry, it's called the Ultimate Hero by STD Hero. Ultimate Hero does the entire gold panel, swabs, MGen, the whole 9 yards. And you do it from the comfort of your home. Do a telehealth visit with one of their laboratory specialists, and they'll be able to do it. One small 3/4-inch tube of blood, that's all you need. And everything gets done lickety-split. When you get it in, it takes about 2 business days. Once they receive it, they'll give you the FedEx biohazard envelope. You put everything in the envelope, ship it on back to them. STD Heroes, the Ultimate Hero, is the only pass certified kit you need, and it's easy, at home, convenient for you. Don't have to drive around looking for a Quest or lab test now, or pay hundreds and hundreds of extra dollars on TTS testing. Go for STD Hero, the Ultimate Hero. That's for every single adult performer. Just do it at home. STD Hero, the Ultimate Hero by Better Life Science.
Nice.
So Goddess Lilith, how do you go from the music to getting into the content?
Yeah, that's the one I want to know.
Well, those are completely separate avenues. Unfortunately, I've sort of tried to mix them a little bit. I've even used my music in the back of some of my clips, or there was one scene I did.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Just yesterday, I filmed a scene while I was wearing my own band T-shirt, just to remind people. I'm like, hey, you can go check this out too. Just the little subtle things. Probably like the most fun clip that I did was with my, or related to your question, is that I did was my good friend Jason from Bratty Foot Girls, and he's a trample guy, and we've known each other forever. And I was like, hey, I want you to be an obsessed Sorrowseed fan, and I'm gonna act out everything that I've wanted to do to these weirdos. And so this was during AVN. And this was back when it was at the Hard Rock. So like we went out to their parking lot, and we found, it was weird. We found this like white van that we had a little bit of cover behind, because we're in public. And so I was just like, I just let him have it verbally. I was like, you can be a fan of my music and not be a fucking weirdo. Like, why do you have to like follow me around? And he was like, but I really want to be like your roadie, and I want to like smell your socks and stuff like that. And so, I pushed him on the ground. I gave him a good trample. I kicked this shit out of him. And I called it my #1 fan. So if anyone's interested in finding that clip, it's several years ago now. But if you go to my Clips for Sale store or my website, which is queengoddesslilith.com. You can just search for #1 fan and it'll come up. But yeah, they're pretty much two totally different things. I have been really kind of like, I don't want to say, like, it's almost shocking that there's not more crossover between fetish people and metalheads. I had the hardest time getting all my friends from the fetish.
You got a point. Yeah, I was about to say, you got a valid point there. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Like I would beg my friends that I knew from the clubs to come to my shows, and like a few of them would, just because like they wanted to be a good friend, but they really weren't into it. So it's really rare to find people who are in this scene that are also into heavy metal. More than often, they're more just into like EDM, or maybe industrial, like Rammstein,
Right.
Oh yeah, Michael Nagy type stuff.
Our guy Michael Nagy.
Yeah. I did an interview with him too, and we talked about metal.
Yeah, Michael.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't get us wrong. We love Michael.
When he's not doing industrial music, he's exploring abandoned prisons somewhere in New Jersey,
or those mental hospitals that people died at. Real creepy horses.
Amazing.
Which we love him to death, but when we need him to be interviewing porn stars and we're paying him, he's like, no, I've got to go to this mental hospital where people died. I'm like, all right, go do you, baby. Go cook. Whatever you got to do.
Nice.
So singing and doing all the stuff that you were doing, how do you end up doing porn?
I mean, really, how did that? I mean, which one? I want to know which was first, because I think I'm lost on your timeline. Did you start the music and then the porn, or was the porn kind of because you were saying as an artist you were looking for extra streams of income?
Yeah.
Or I'm just kind of, and how and what was like the first stuff you did also in the adult? Like what kind of like lead us through the genesis of that particular part of your journey?
Yeah, so I started my first band when I was 15, still in high school.
Okay,
and then just a couple years later, I happened to discover this new at the time technology, live webcams. So this was kind of before webcams were anywhere near as big as they are now.
Right.
You know, your computer did not come with one like in the screen or anything like that. Like all laptops have cams now, but so the only sites that were around back then, there was one called Cam Whores and there was one called iFriends, right? So before I joined either of these, because I wasn't actually 18 yet, I grabbed a webcam and I launched my own site. And this was the early days of the internet where
the Wild West.
Exactly. So, you know, I don't want to get too precise here, but I was not quite 18 yet. And I was already putting myself on the internet doing various things. Like I had a 24/7 cam, and I eventually became one of the first 24/7 cam houses to ever exist. And that was my membership.
Wow.
So I had like a nerdy slave that helped me, you know, just set up all of they were security cameras. And I just had them running. I think it was off bandwidth. But this was before streaming. So it would upload an image, a static image, like 2 to 3 times per minute. Right. And then eventually we bumped it up to streaming. But that's how long ago I started being a webcam personality. So that wasn't really paying super well yet at the time. But that was sort of always the constant thing that I have always done through my entire career, whether it's like pornographic or not. I'm just, always sort of been an exhibitionist. I like being on stage, hence why I like being the front person of a band. But throughout those sorts of things that I was doing, I was also I started doing the gig work, and then I started doing in-person domination. And that was what paid the most. You know, I could just stack up a bunch of cash. I could maybe pop up to New York or somewhere nearby. I started traveling for it and touring eventually when I got a little bit older and could afford flights and things like that. So that's pretty much it. And then that just sort of eventually evolved into me starting my own dungeon, me running play parties, and being the fetish webcam model that I am known for being today.
Very nice.
That is amazing. That is amazing. So
and as far as the clip stuff, that happened sort of naturally. I started filming my sessions, and that's how my first clips.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
Okay, like let me see if I can get a film sub, or are you willing, to have your session recorded? I might give you a discount for that or something like that. So I started putting all of my clips of my sessions on Clips for Sale, and eventually other sites as well. And then I sort of noticed that POV content was getting really popular in my genre. And for a long time, now I'm professionally trained as an actress. All right, I'm just gonna drop the info that I was professionally trained at Harvard University to be an actress, public speaker, and creative writer, and all these other things. I took a liberal arts course from them, and so I was a trained actor at this point. And I was like, I don't think I like the idea of me just like sitting there talking shit to a camera. This is so dumb. This is just a fad. This is like not going to be what people buy. I'm going to keep filming my scenes. And so years went on, and I started looking at the rankings because, as a good entrepreneur, you have to check out and see what the competition is doing, right? You got to stay competitive. Like always, don't sleep on that. And so I noticed that the most popular studios time and time again were indeed those doing POV. And I was like, all right, fine. I'm going to do this stupid POV thing. And I started that with what I was already known for, which was foot fetish content.
Right on.
And, so that's kind of how I got into doing POVs. Eventually I started doing other types of humiliation and things like that. It did round out my clip sales a bit more to do POVs. I still, for the record, think I would rather film my real genuine scenes with people, and I love filming with other creators that I actually have chemistry with, because to me that's just way more fun than talking shit to a camera. I could do that all day. Yeah.
I can do that all day.
I mean, it's not much more than like phone sex or something like that. And
yeah,
although
it's like one, it's barely a level above it. Yeah, I mean, if you're really kind of being honest, yeah, absolutely.
and like I have, I also have that sort of in my list of resume things. Like I've been a night flirt operator and a sex panther, chatter for a long time, and I do the video calls and all that. But I don't know. I just I like having like genuine scenes with people in the flesh and blood. Like, there's a time and a place, of course, for long distance stuff. And I
Yeah,
have made
absolutely.
some amazing friends, fans, like loyal, devoted minions all over the world from interacting online. So, I mean, I try to have, my little fingernails and a little piece of the pie here, and here, and just keep the multiple revenue streams flowing.
Nothing wrong with that.
So you mentioned that it's been kind of hard to get the fetish people into the metal music. I would think that the fetish people would be into metal music.
That's kind of what I was thinking too.
Right. It always confused me because I'm like, here's two extremes. Extreme people usually like other extreme things.
I agree with that.
But it's to this day, it boggles my mind. There's just little to no crossover there, and it's so disappointing.
Yeah, well, I'd say that I'm honestly shocked in a lot of ways, and I don't know. I mean, have you ever asked anybody into maybe, I mean, non-scientific polling, obviously, like what has prohibited you? Why haven't, like, have you ever gotten any kind of answer from anybody as to, well, it's just not anything by any chance?
No, I'm usually just sort of like, oh, have you ever tried listening to this
Okay.
type of music, like maybe in your scenes or something? And they're just like, yeah, I like something a little more melodic.
Okay. All right.
Well, it just, unfortunately, it is what it is. But I did
Yeah.
just work with another creator that I absolutely adore. Her name's Raven Weiss, and just yesterday we were talking about, this was the scene where I wore my own T-shirt in it too. We were talking about, because she's a metalhead too, and we were like,
Right.
there's so few of us, and once we find each other, we latch on because there's,
Yeah.
it's so rare. I don't know why. I wish I do. But I have thought actually about something sort of on it's on my bucket list. It's a little bit backburnered right now while I work more on my like creator coaching stuff. That's
Okay.
what I'm focused on this year. But I eventually do want to try my hand perhaps at electronic music of some kind, whether it's industrial or it's EDM or trance, whatever it is. I think that with the audience I do have, I could probably convert more of them over to that type of music than I have been able to do with metal. So it's definitely something on my radar, something I want to try in the future.
All right.
Awesome.
That is beautiful. Yeah, that is beautiful.
So Goddess Lilith joins us today here on Fucking Around with Porn Stars on just an amazing day. We're talking about we've spent a good chunk of the show talking about her music, which is something
I love that. Yes.
I love that.
But so have you ever thought about trying to do like one of you like a concert or a performance at one of these porn shows?
That's what I was wondering too. Like, about to bring the whole thing into it. You talked about bringing it together. I think that'd be a beautiful way to do that.
I actually have sort of reached out and asked some of the event organizers for some of my favorite industry shows, and they were like, thanks for reaching out, but we think that metal is not really a good fit for our event.
Oh my God.
Okay, so what is the good fit seems to just be like rap or R&B every time. And
yeah, it's like it feels like a copy paste repeat sort of excuse. Yeah,
they're just appealing to, I guess, the masses, I suppose. Like, most
well, all they want is like, they just want to hear the Chappelle Roan HOTTOGO, and that's about all they want to hear. It feels like on some kind of pop culture repeat.
The only performer that I've ever seen in recent history that I was actually interested to see at one of those shows was Doja Cat. I do like her music.
Who doesn't? I love the Doja.
It's great for streaming. If you pop into any given cam model, stream at any time. Like you could go on MFC or whatever right now and find someone with Doja Cat in the background. You know, it's very sexy. It's good for getting people in the mood, setting the tone. So I will listen to music like that sometimes on my streams, depending on the time of day, what day it is, who's in the room. I might play something a little more palatable. But I find that most people do just kind of like dark industrial. I play a lot of just sort of instrumental music in the background, so I don't have to compete with vocals. So that's kind of, you know, the audience are responsible to that most of the time. But yeah, to circle back, it's disappointing because I know that there's a chunk of us out there that would love if any of this music or any of these artists were anything else but what they keep choosing. But unfortunately, you know, it is what it is. It doesn't seem like it's going to change. So, you know, I tend to just skip the performances, honestly.
That's too bad.
That is too bad. I actually had a question. So you obviously you are more of a dominant. Did you ever explore? I mean, I know we talked about you weren't into the whole like bondage thing. You're like, yeah, this isn't for me. But did you ever explore a submissive side and then you decide that's not for me? Or how did that come about where you say, you know what, this really is a part of my identity? Like, how did that kind of come to fruition?
Yeah, so I would say for probably the first, let's see, how many years have I been doing this now? Ugh, I don't even want to say out loud, but I'm eligible to be in the AVN Hall of Fame. I'll just leave it at that. For the first probably 75% of my career, strictly Dom, didn't even think about submitting to anyone, not even in my personal life. But you know, as time goes on, it's sort of like, you know, I can draw sort of an analogy with how I eventually, with my singing, explored classical music, something that was totally opposite. Because after a while, you kind of get bored, right? You're just like, okay, I've mastered this thing. Maybe I would like to switch it up a little bit. So I have more recently thought about switching on camera, specifically for women. There's a few ladies that I would trust, you know, people that I'm in friendships with that I would trust for that. I've switched a little bit on camera with other women that I feel really comfortable with, just like light stuff, spanking and things like that. I will never be a degradee. I'm super not into that. Except in like very specific situations. Once in a while, I like a good gangbang, and I'm totally okay if they want.
Oh wow, okay.
If they want to call me a whore in that situation, but I will also preface that or say that there's a caveat there that I'm generally with a sub. I'm generally with one of my cucks as well. So
okay.
I'm still in a dominant position, right?
Yes.
Because I'm cucking the sub who is watching live, who is probably in chastity, and I'm humiliating them.
Holy
shit. And but I'm still sort of you know, being used by a few different guys or whatever. And I mean, I'm still in control the whole time. There's always rules and stuff like that, and I can call quits or call red or whatever whenever I want. But so there's a couple of little very specific situations where I do get a little more switchy. But I'm also just sort of I'm a goddess that likes to be served, right? So
hey, nothing wrong with that. Know your identity. Yeah, I was about to say, know who you are.
Like,
yeah.
Okay, if you're a sub and you're serving me, great. But if you're a top and you're calling yourself a service top, that's also okay with me. So if that means I'm jokingly gonna call you like daddy or whatever, like totally fine. Like, you know, I'll use that term. I call my friends mommy sometimes, like my you know, my dom friends. I'm just like, okay, mommy, let's go. Or like I've got a little bit of a little streak in me, which is like, I don't know if you guys know about sort of like age regression at all.
Yes, we do.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we know.
It's something I do that when I need to relax. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, gotcha.
Being the CEO of multiple companies, like I need somebody to take care of me once in a while. So if I'm like, hey, I want to curl up with my blankie and eat some mac and cheese, if my sub's there, I'm just going to be like, like I joke, I'm just sort of like, okay, big German daddy, go make my mac and cheese for me.
Go make more mac and cheese.
Stuff like that. For me, it's all really lighthearted. But yeah, so I hope that answers your question.
I think so. I think for me, what I've always found interesting is that, like I find and this is kind of a weird thing. Well, I guess not really weird, but like, as I've told people, like for me, myself and the content that I do, no, I'm not a sub at all. I'm pretty much going to take the dominant role, but in private life, yeah, I will, but I don't want that filmed. It's kind of one of those things like, yeah, that I reserve for kind of like you're talking specific people, specific moments in time. That's not a camera thing. That's something that I keep here for me, for my for personal use only. And that's kind of but that's me. But no, it's interesting to hear your story and how you came about. So thank you for answering that question. That was really good take. Good take.
We have got Goddess Lilith with us today. She joins us live here on our big program, and this has been a very, very, very interesting conversation with Goddess Lilith today.
I know, I like
all over the map. I love it.
All the various things.
It's all fun stuff. I hate those boring ass interviews, so I don't say yes to every interview, by the way. But I knew it was going to be fun with you guys.
Well, I thank you very much. That is very flattered. We do love it, and I definitely again want to see Jiggy in the next available cameo, in the next available video, in the Santa suit. Gotta happen, Jiggy. We'll make that happen. We got to make that happen.
And I will, and someone will probably make me have a full beard like I had about a month.
By the way, Gossel, if you didn't see him in the beard, it was so fucking sexy. He had the beard, and he goes, I look homeless. I was like, dude, and everybody was telling us, you look horrid. He looked sharp. Like he kept it just the right length, just that right depth of beard. That was
that line between homeless and
he was not at homeless. He was nowhere near homeless, but he had just that right amount. Like it was just kept that right level. I was like, damn.
I can picture it. I could see
it was good.
Oh God. That's just what we do.
Yeah, it was
Did you
really
have it
good.
During ABN?
No, thank God I didn't have it at ABN.
No, he did not. Yeah.
Well, I still would have recognized you from the suit.
Yeah, you can't miss the suits. Yeah, please. Yeah, no one could.
So, takeaway in branding, you guys. By the way, I mean this dude. You can recognize him in a crowded room with thousands of people because he's wearing his suits. So.
Yep, especially my favorite, the Disco Silver, baby, the Disco Silver.
So, for folks that haven't heard you on various shows or anything, you were mentioning earlier some of the different content that you do and some of the stuff you've tried. What is some of the stuff that you've tried that, besides the being tied up, that you just were like, okay, this ain't gonna work for me?
Well, so this happens more in a private scene. It was my first session doing pegging with someone, and it was a double dom session with one of my favorite doms back on the East Coast. Shout outs to Mistress Delilah. This was back when I was kind of a baby dom, and she invited me into one of her sessions, and she's like, have you ever done pegging? Do you want to do pegging? And I was like, well, this is a really profitable service to offer someone. So yeah, let's try it. Let's see what it's all about. And I'll try not to get too graphic here, but
no, you can. The show's called Fucking Around.
Yeah, it was Fucking Around Porn Stars. Get as graphic as you need to get. Go. Don't hold back for us.
Okay, I don't know what platforms you posted.
This is not the one that's going to be on the public airwaves, so you're good. Yeah,
cool. All right, then. Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm staying with.
Yeah. You're good.
No, we don't put this one on those channels. That's not this one. Yeah, you're good.
I can say the P word here, which is podcast. So
which we wouldn't be allowed to say if it was.
Which I wouldn't be allowed to say on the others. Yeah, it's on-demand archived audio. So
you're good.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
have my stuff on YouTube, so like.
Oh yeah.
A lot of people repost on there, so that was really worried about.
Oh hell yeah, totally get it. Yeah.
But, okay, so I show up to this session. And she lets me wear one of her cocks that she's got. I'm like, all right, great, cool. I'm just gonna watch you do it first because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Like, I've never fucking been in the ass before. And you know, when you're going for an anal scene, this is anyone, when you're doing an anal scene, there's certain prep that you need to do. You need to fucking clean yourself out. You need to not eat a heavy meal that day. Like, generally you're gonna fast to some degree if you respect your partner or your provider.
I fast 2 days. I have a 2-day fast rule on that stuff. Yep.
Yeah, I kind of implemented one after that too. I was just like, I never want to experience this again. But you know, she claimed that this sub had done that and that he's normally good at preparing for anal scenes and stuff like that. But you know, lo and behold, as soon as she's done fucking him and she pulls out, there's fucking shit all over the dick. And I was just like, whoa. It was so disgusting. It looked like ice cream, like soft served ice cream.
Soft serve, yep.
And it was so gross. And the smell was so bad. I almost threw up. I mean, there were just shit all over this dick. And I was like, oh my God, I am not touching that. I'm fucking out. Like, I'm good.
I'm fucking out.
This guy was also just, he wasn't what I would consider attractive. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
I'm body shame here, but like,
it's
from some cute young little twink looking dude or something, like someone I had actually found attractive in some way, I probably would have been able to forgive it, like to some degree. But it was just like, it was a really unattractive person. So that kind of traumatized me. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, okay.
It sort of traumatized me for many, many years. I refused the idea of doing pegging with anyone, even though I got many requests for it, and I knew that content sold really well. I was like, nope, this is a fucking no-go for me. I am not going anywhere near this. So
yeah.
But eventually I came around to it. I'm still a little hesitant to do it with clients, not just because it's can potentially be gross, but it's also that is the one thing that's illegal in most states. Like, that can get you into trouble. Even agreeing to it over email or something, like they could send someone trying to do a sting operation on you. So generally I only do it with either personal partners who might be interested, and then I school them exactly and I make sure they're doing their fasting, or I do it with partners that I know are very well versed and very experienced. Like, for example, my friend Ava Venom, you know, we've done many scenes. She's a gorgeous trans hung huge titty bimbo. I love working with her, and I know that I am never ever gonna sit on that dick. So that's kind of you know, that this whole backstory to give you, like, you know, something else that I have experienced along the way, where I was just like, okay, hard no on this one.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. I know something's going up or in there, especially since Jiggy usually does my scheduling. You know, it's like if I know it's coming up, I give myself 2 days where it's like, look, I go on to like a liquid vitamin supplement diet, flush out, clean up, everything.
Take notes, guys.
Yeah, flush out, clean up.
Enemies are your friends.
I'll even drink that magnesium citrate the couple days before to start.
Wow, that's commitment, bro.
Yep. Well, you don't want anything on the toy. And if it's a trans model that's going in me, I don't want her to have to worry about anything either. I want this to be as great an experience as humanly possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
well, that's good. You are respectful and you do things right. And wow, drinking that drink, like I had to do that once, for a medical checkup I was doing, and I have been through that day, and oh my, that is not pleasant. So the fact that you're willing to go through all that means that you are a really good partner and or scene partner. So kudos.
Absolutely. I think we're going to be having that kind of fun. Let's make it as pleasant and enjoyable for everybody as possible.
Yes, I love that. People listen up. Like rewind it, take some
Rewind.
notes.
Go
That's
back.
what you do to prep for an anal scene.
Prep smart. You always prep smart for that kind of stuff because, there are people that are like, oh, I don't mind. I kind of like it. There is an extreme fetish side. You can go to darkfetish.com and see a lot of this stuff. But it's like, here's the thing about that. It's like there can be a biological danger there. You're playing around. Sure, you may be into the kink or the fetish, as it were, as a whole, but you really have to be mindful that there's a biological component that's safety ridden. That's the reason why you need to be clean.
Yeah, there is
a lot of people don't get it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, there's like toxicity risks and things like that. So, whatever you're into, just make sure you're doing it clean. I just had a conversation earlier this week with someone who enjoys being urinated inside of. And that's I don't kink shame anybody, but I'm like, that is extremely dangerous. I actually know someone who went to the hospital and was there like for almost a month because she had some kind of toxic I can't remember the term, but it was like a toxic reaction in her body, and she was going like into septic shock, like that, because she had done it a couple of times. So you guys, if you're going to engage in obscure kinks or things that are involving body fluids, like, please do your research. End up in the hospital. She could have died.
You got to do the research. Thank you,
Todd. I know it's not sexy necessarily to take precautions. It's kind of like some people don't want to use condoms, but you got to do what you got to do. It's better than being dead or like
hell of a lot better.
AIDS and living like with that forever. So, she was really lucky she didn't come out with brain damage. So just saying, like, use your, do your research. There's so much information on the web. Talk to AI if you don't want to talk to a person. Like, just make sure you're being safe.
Please.
Know the risks.
Yep. A lot of people don't get it.
As we wrap up here with Goddess Lilith, let's start with well, actually, but before we get into all this, tell us one more time about STD Hero, Giovanni.
I would be very happy to. For all the adult performers out there that are watching this, STD Hero, the ultimate hero. Do the test from the comfort of your home. They've got lab certified tests, and technicians do it by video. It is PASS certified, so that is for every single studio that takes a PASS certified test. This is it. The lab itself is CLIA certified, which is extremely important. So the lab is CLIA certified. The test is PASS certified for the adult industry. Do it in the comfort of your home. STD Hero is the ultimate hero by the company Better Life Science. When you do the ultimate hero test, they'll guide you online. It's super easy. They send you everything you need in a packet kit. Very easy to do. They give you the FedEx biohazard bag to send everything back. STD Hero is the ultimate hero, is the only kit you need. Stay at home. Don't go driving around and Google mapping and getting all lost and confused. Then you get to the Quest lab and there's 100 people in there because everybody's trying to get doing some other thing there, and you're just sitting around with half the people are sick and coughing and getting stuff on it. Avoid all that. STD Hero is the ultimate hero, is the easiest way to avoid. You get PASS certified, CLIA lab certified, everything you need in one kit. And once they get it back in their office, there's only 2 business days, and they can get those results right back to you. You'll know every step of the way where that package is coming and going. Avoid the rest. Get the only test that matters. STD Hero, the ultimate hero. The only pro test you actually need is STD Heroes, the ultimate hero.
That was a good
thank you.
So let's start with Goddess Lilith. How do we find you and all your stuff, from the music to the porn to everything?
Yes.
So first and foremost, find my music at sorrowseed.com. You can find Sorrowseed on all socials, on streaming platforms. Please come support us, show your love. If you found us through this podcast, feel free to leave a comment and say so. We love hearing from you guys. To find everything about me, you can go to goddesslilith.com, which is sort of an overview about all the things I do. But to find the smut, to find the good stuff that you are looking for, you need to come to a couple of places. First, all of those things are on my website, queengoddesslilith.com. And that's also where you can talk to me directly. You can submit a slave application on there if you would like to serve or session with me.
Oh, wow.
You can also come to my Loyal Fans. I am super active on Loyal Fans. It's just loyalfans.com/Goddess Lilith. If you use my link to sign up, let me know. Send me a message and I will send you a free video, courtesy of this interview only. And what else? I just started a free community for sex workers. It's called Adultpreneurs. So that's what I was talking about a little earlier with the coaching stuff. I offer free how-to videos on YouTube and things like that, and just a place where we can talk with each other privately, get support. You know, if you're a newbie, you're just starting, or just anywhere you are on your journey, if you're looking for community, come on over to the Adultpreneurs community. It's at adultpreneurs.com, and I'm also going to be launching the podcast for that community on YouTube later this year. Look for it this summer. Adultpreneurs. So it's like entrepreneurs, but it's adultpreneurs. So yeah, that's all my stuff. Come and find me.
That is wonderful. Fantastic. Thank you for that, Miss Goddess.
Thank you guys so much for having me. This has been a blast.
Well, you have been amazing.
Phenomenal. Yes.
And we look forward to chatting with everybody next week. Goddess Lilith, thanks for doing this, my friend.
Definitely love it. Thank you so much.
And we will talk to you hopefully in Chicago. Are you going to Exotica?
No, I'm actually so busy working on my courses for adultpreneurs. I have to block out my calendar for like the next 2 months till I go back to Boston.
Oh, okay. All right.
But I will be, for all of my home fans in Boston, I am returning for a good couple of months, and I will be doing sessions, and I will be doing my play parties, my foot parties and stuff. So come find me on Twitter.
So there it is. You heard it here first, gentlemen. Boston, you heard the news.
Yes, my Twitter, by the way, it's shadow banned, so make sure you type it in Goddess Lilith 66. Yep. And I do have a free Telegram group as well where I announce all my travel stuff. So yeah, I forgot to mention.
And we can get that through the links, I'm sure, from your social media on your Twitter, correct? Okay, great. Well, that is fabulous. Thank you again. Wonderful conversation. Thank you for
fantastic.
I loved it. This
Thank
was
you
fantastic.
guys so much. I had a blast. I appreciate you.
Likewise.
And thanks everybody for listening.
Definitely. And we will see everybody next week. Check out the website, jiggyjaguar.info, for video, audio, and everything else. And that has been Nat. And I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.